In December of 1971, we moved to West Point, Alabama. Did not know a soul. Even the postman would ask me, who are you kin to? You kin to the Joneses? You kin to the Kegels? You kin to, the Overtons? And people took us in like family. 5 years later, I went to work with Alpha Insurance. And the community gave me so much through the years, and through those years as our children were growing up, going to West Point School, I was president of PTA, president of Band Boosters, worked with that sort of thing, was really able to give a lot back to the community. And with that behind, and me retired now, and we're still a part of the community, and we want to give back to the community just a portion of what they have given to us. If I'm elected mayor, I've never been involved in politics. If I'm elected mayor, I'll get in there. It's like like my grandmother used to say, Sonny, if a mule can learn, you can learn. So I'll get in there and I'll learn what it's all about, and I'll do what I think is best for the community. I'll work with the council. There's 5 council members. They will decide what we do. And when things come up into play, we'll discuss it, we'll vote on it. We will not argue on it. I mean, if they want to argue, I'll just go in another room and they settle down, I'll come back. We'll discuss it. But if I'm elected mayor, I'll try to run it in a manner that'd be pleasing to this community. First of all, pleasing to God. Second of all, pleasing to the community. Thank you very much.
Well, I moved here the first time when I was 17 years old, and I moved here when the ice storm hit in 96, I believe it was. And it was difficult, but I seen how this community works. And that's kind of an important thing. And in 2008, I moved here and bought a poultry farm because I love this community. I love the families, the friends. And since I've been here, I've extended my hand in gratitude to everybody in this community that's come to help me, guide me in chicken farming. And I want to be mayor of this town because I've seen things that I have a different opinion on that I believe can benefit this town greatly, and I don't want to see money go in places that it could benefit the whole community in a whole in a better way. But I'm here to serve the people. I want to, like Mr. Drain said, the council's there for a reason, and it needs to be used. And if the people in the council and the mayor can't come together on a decision, it needs to be discussed, and it doesn't have to have an answer right then and there. It can go into old business, and you can talk with the community to get some answers on what their opinion is on a specific situation and what they think they would like to do. And with that, I'd just like to say that I hope that if I am elected, that I can make people proud and do everything that I can do, and my whole walk is to please the Lord. And if it's not pleasing to you, I apologize, but everything I do, I try to focus directly on what's right and what's wrong. It's black and white. There's no gray area. Thank you.
First thing, I want to thank the Chamber and the Coleman Times and the Brandon Iron. And of course, you get the benefit of having a real good meal while you're here, for being here. I want to be your mayor again. First and foremost, this is my hometown. I was born here. I was raised here. Ben McKenzie taught me in Sunday school a long time ago. Levice Cagle knew my mother before she was born, or when she was born. And Joyce was a school secretary when I was back there. And then I got my mother-in-law sitting back there that's lived in this community forever. Through my experience in my education, I've learned how to do things, and both Sonny and Mike bring up a very good point about the council working together. I had invited the elected representatives here tonight because they all pass through from time to time, and they've always made a comment to me. They've said, well, Kenneth, you seem like you're the most laid-back guy out there, and your council, everything just kind of runs smooth. Your council is supposed to work together. It sure is. And your meetings down here on Monday night are open to the public. The records of everything that we do in this town are public record. Lee, I didn't see that sign. Would you hold it up again where I know when to shut up? Thank y'all. It's all a matter of open records. And the one thing that I enjoy that I've heard from all these representatives is that, and the council, I think is every one of them here tonight, we're friends, we talk, we all know other people, and we do get consensus. Just like when we started this sewer project, and you'll hear me talk more about this tonight. We had a community meeting down here in 2006. We laid out a lot of options. Then we were very methodical in our planning as we went forward, and I'll address that more tonight. My experience, my education, the record that we have, the fact that this is my home, and we not only have results, we have a vision for the future that I'm going to lay out for you as we go on tonight. Thank y'all very much. God bless y'all. God bless each one of these men. God bless West Point. Thank you.
Well, my opinion on the sewer system to be paid off early should have never really been an issue to begin with. On February 20th, 2007, Mr. Kilgo originally estimated would cost the town $1 million to complete. Now appears to be $15,000 to $20,000. And then on April 18th, the Coleman Times, the estimated cost of West Point for a new sewer system would be $100,000 to $125,000, according to Mr. Kilgo. Congressman Adderholt has made a commitment of $100,000 on the first phase. The ARC is a federally funded grant program operated at the state level. Kilgo said the agency is providing match funds for the project anticipated to cost about $178,000. And out of that $178,000, $25,000 of that should come out of the pocket expenses of the town. On April 29th, 2009, they got an estimate for $123,231. Kilgo said the town received a construction grant for $136,000. It looks like every business and residence on the route wants to sign on. And there's 1 residence and 5 businesses tied onto our sewer system. Now let's look at this. Mr. Kilgo said we could get into the sewer business for $15,000 to $20,000. We have a construction grant for $136,000. Governor Bob Riley's office has reserved $75,000. Jack's paid $25,000 impact fee. Congressman Adderholt committed $100,000. And this is the question. Why should we have to borrow $159,000 when $361,000 was promised for a system which was only going to originally cost $15,000 to $20,000? And if the money that was promised to us we would have received, we would not have to worry about paying off $90,000 or $86,000 roughly in a sewer debt over the next 3 months. I believe. Thank you.
Thank you, and I'm glad you brought that up. The sewer system, I'm proud of it. If you've got pictures of what this town looked like prior to 2000 and what it looks like right now, you be the judge. Mike just give you a lot of numbers. There was lots of meetings, and the Times covers everything, and David Palmer and the reporters can tell you. And we had several different scenarios. That's why it is a process. That's why it wasn't done in 6 months. It took 3 years. We went to Washington, D.C., and you're going to have to pay this fee. There's only 5 businesses and 1 resident because of our ordinance. We grandfathered and protected everybody. Every structure that ever existed around here, you don't have to tie them if you don't want to. Okay, you don't. It's strictly your option. And that's the way it is. That's the way we laid out the ordinance there. And we also even had an agreement that if somebody wanted to connect and money was an issue, the town would finance it for them. We did that. Okay, we did everything we've said we've done. We've been transparent. We got it right, 100% right, and it's there. Jax is here, has put money back into this community. It'll be paid off. The Southwest Water System told us last night that it would cost $1 million to replace this system if it was started from scratch. We're fiscally sound, and we're better for it. Thank you.
I think it was a good decision. I'm real big on, I'm not afraid to borrow money, but I like to pay it off as soon as I can. My daddy used to drive him crazy because I was always kind of going out on a limb with things in my own personal life and in business. And business is business, and we need to borrow money. You borrow money, and when the time comes where you can pay it off, you pay it off. To me, it's just black and white. Pay it off. That's all I have.
It's to understand government first. Did anybody watch Sunday was 2 weeks ago, the Fox News interview with Chris Wallace? And he had an interview with Chief Justice Antonin Scalia of the United States Supreme Court. And they talked about how things are judged or how they make decisions at the Supreme Court. What they have to do is they have to understand and determine the intent of the Founding Fathers, and they have to put themselves in that frame of mind to view the world as it was then. And the two broad brush responsibilities of government, and check me out, is this: equal protection for everybody. That is the first and foremost responsibility of government. The second role is to provide services that the average citizen cannot reasonably be expected to provide themselves. That's the function of your government. That's what we've done. These town tax dollars come back in here. They don't come back in here to benefit one group. They come back to benefit everybody. And that's exactly what we've done. That is your primary role. Understand government, have a plan, execute.
Well, I'm really big on support of each other. It thrilled me last year when we had the tornadoes, the way this county, we didn't sit back and wait on the government to come in and take care of us. We took care of each other. There were some people bathed over at our house before a wedding because we had hot water and they didn't. But the responsibility, I think, of the mayor is to try to bring the community together and to be able to work together with the council and the citizens inside the community and help meet the needs. And just like you said, you know, I mean, we don't want to make government plants where it's just let them take care of us. We can take care of ourselves. West Point community is really good about taking care of ourselves, taking care of each other, and I'm thankful for that. And I think we would continue in that direction under my leadership. And I'm not saying it wasn't under their leadership. But the main thing is I want us to be one. I don't want this little faction over here and this one over here. You can have a difference of opinion. We all have our own opinions. We come together, we discuss it. We had a situation in our church one time where they wanted to pad the pews. And it was during hard economy, and I was not for it. And we had someone across the street that needed a refrigerator, and we were padding pews. And so everyone voted for it. I voted against it. Well, then we walked outside, and some of them said, "I was with you." I said, "No, we discussed it in there. It's over now. I'm going to sit on those padded pews and enjoy them too, and try to stay awake." So.
The definition of mayor, it's hard to compete. Mr. Kilgo brought up the government, and it's hard to say this. We need to follow. We need laws. We need guidelines, but we're in such a bad economy because of government. We need to come together, work as a community, and if we work as a community and as a whole, I think we can keep this together, and we can make West Point grow. And I just want it to sound like West Point can work together. I've seen the way since I've become a candidate for mayor, I've had people come to me and talk to me about issues in the ball fields and issues about things around town that they have problems with. And they're minor issues, but they're issues that can be solved easily amongst ourselves. We don't need to get big, hostile, and after this election, we're all going to be neighbors still. And because of that, it's not going to change drastically, but I believe that we need a change, and my definition of mayor is work with the council together and the community for what the majority thinks should happen. Because my little slogan on my shirt says, "A town divided can't stand." And right now it's being pulled in different directions, and it doesn't need to be. Everybody has different opinions, and that's perfectly okay, but we need to discuss opinions, like Drano here said, that just because you have a different opinion don't mean that you don't like that person. It's okay to have different opinions and still agree and get the problems solved together. Thank you.
Yes. Is that good enough? I would like to see us, whoever is mayor and whoever's on town council, in the near future, take this property over on 157 Highway and turn it into our office, and take the community center over here and make it a community center, and set that thing up where we can use that to, if we have to rebuild it, when I get in there, if I get in there, or when whoever gets in there, I'll be glad to work with them to help this thing either rebuild it, tear it down, start all over, whatever, put our offices over there so that this can be, over here can be used not just for senior citizens, but for everyone, for the different needs and, get-togethers, whatever. I would really like to see us in the long run. We're talking about this community thing. I'd like to see some community activities over there rather than ball. Now, I really want to see the ball field improved. And I saw that thing in the paper today, and I'm a little confused about that. But whatever, I would like to see our athletic facilities grow for the young people in the community, give them a place to play. I love the safety of West Point, and I know we're not sweet little, but we really are to a certain extent. Just a really innocent, loving place where our children can get out and play ball, walk around trails. As a matter of fact, this acreage up here, I'm already having these things spin in my head about a bigger walking trail. Heritage Park up there is great. It's Coleman. We go up there. I'd rather go a mile to do that sort of thing than 12 miles. So there's several things like that I would really like to see happen. And with the leadership and the council and the community support, we can do that. We have to do it as a community. We don't have to do it as 5 people. Thank you very much.
Park and rec, yes, you can't go wrong. I grew up playing baseball. It's football. It's an amazing thing for the youth. We can't go wrong with it. I have an issue with the ball fields now because they're being neglected, waiting for future building of this park and rec. And if it takes 3 years to do a sewer system, how long is it going to take to get money to build baseball fields? And grant money is fairly easy for park and rec. But I don't want us to take 4 years of building a park and rec and then the kids have to suffer that's playing now for the next 4 years. Park and rec, yes. A walking trail, I love it. We need pavilions. There's numerous things that I agree with park and rec. A new town hall. We don't use town hall very often. The town hall used now is my mistake before. It's open 3 days a week, and that it gets used by the council and once a month. Well, I think if we could add a little bit to this for now, we can make it nice for the seniors. We can keep everything controlled in a nice little budget. It would be great to be able to go out and build a $300,000 building, a $2 million park. It would be great, but the funds aren't there right now. And when the sewer system's paid off, the funds are going to be dropped even lower. So we have to build our revenue back up before anything can happen. And I don't think what we have now, it needs to be better, and it can be done at a lower rate and cheaper than to try to wait until all of the money comes in to do the other stuff. Thank you.
Goes back to, like I said, about first understanding government and the process. 3 years was quick on the sewer system. Mayor Coy Harbison from Good Hope's here. He can attest to that, and I think Frankie Jones has been involved with that. It's a process. You don't know till you've been there. And then Mike made the point about the finances. The mayor, one of the things, getting back to the responsibility, and I'm not dodging the question, I'll be talking to you about that for a lot. The sole responsibility of the mayor is the audited financial statements of the town. Now, they're talking speculation. I know them. I can quote them to you. Okay, and Michael made the point about government. Okay, big government. This is your report card right here. This is the 2009 financial statements. Your town net asset value, from a business perspective, assets minus your liabilities equals your net worth. Your net worth of your town tripled from 2006 till now. Right here is the audited financial statement if you'd like to see it. Yes, we're going to proceed with that municipal complex. Mike was confused on the operation and the hours. He still is. The senior center, it's used every day. Wayne and Gail, y'all deliver meals. I helped establish that meal delivery program here in this community. I delivered meals to Sonny's mother for several years. Okay, so I know about community and what it takes too. Okay. But yes, we're going to, because I've talked with Barry Willingham's not here, and the probate judge is not here. Jerry Smith has talked with them. We've talked with them. That will be a new town hall complex. We've also offered up a part of that property to the fire department. We've talked with the revenue commissioner and the probate judge about a satellite office out here in West Point at that new. So yes. And then the project with the Cornett property that took me 3 years to negotiate, that's way down the road. We still have work to do here. We've got the land and we got a plan.
Well, over the next 4 years, if I'm elected in, like I said, I'd like to make this ball field that we have, I'd like to bring it up to specs to where we can have tournaments. Because if we bring tournaments or we have agendas or plans brought into the town using our utilities that we have now, our facilities, that it's going to help the town of West Point. If people come here, they're going to eat at the Brandon Iron Steakhouse. They're going to shop at the Superette and at Willingham's store. They're going to go to the Dollar General. They're going to eat at Lumberjacks. We need things that's going to help the community, and I think if we can get the ball fields up to spec and get tournaments, I think that would be a great idea. Obviously, we're going to be working towards getting the funds for the new 80 acres that the town has acquired. And because these plans are things that I think that would be great, but like I said, the council needs to be involved in it and the town needs to be involved in it. Where we can have these plans and have them set to where what we think we can do, but we can be acquiring information the whole time to where if something needs to be handled, it can be handled. If something's wrong, let's fix it. And if everything's going great, then we can keep moving forward towards the plans that we believe is working. And as an agenda goes, let's build the revenue back up. It'll be debt-free when the sewer's paid off. So as long as we don't take on much more debt and we can get plenty of funding for the ball fields and park and rec on everything that we're doing, then I think that we just continue to grow. But as a whole, I think West Point's a great little community, but it needs to be focused towards the people and not bringing in massive industries, because that's not why I moved here personally. I moved here because of the people, not the industry. Thank you.
Again, the top three is the one thing I'd mentioned is town hall and improving the facilities for the ball fields. And in the long, I'm big on, I've always had a 30-year plan, and I'm 69. And I still have one. And but I also like to live today. We live today like this is our last day, and we plan the future like we're going to live another 30 years. And so I think, of course, the top priority again is this facility over here on the highway and the ball field, and then of course making sure getting our, really looking at our money, our opportunities to get more money in, even to bring and increase the size of West Point with people that want to come into the city limits, where we draw money from that. And then any business, I don't want a skyscraper on 157. I don't want a U.S. Steel to build out here, to be honest with you. But, it wouldn't hurt for a Chick-fil-A or a truck stop or whatever along the highway. And if someone wants to bring a business in here, we have that little place, this little place up here where they do poultry house equipment. Different businesses come in. I think we need to work with them, get them in here, help them. Any way we can help them even through looking for grants or finding property for them to build. There's plenty of land out here, but not many of us want to really turn it loose. I turned loose too much of mine already. And my driveway is just 900 feet long, so and that's pretty neat to be in a city with a 900-foot driveway. But that's what I look at as far as the top three things, is getting the money in line, but we're really maybe the top, and the other two. So
Top three things for me, and I go over them, but Sonny and I ate breakfast a couple of months ago, and it goes back to understanding government, and I need to make sure that there's one thing y'all understand. I think we're all kind of focused same direction now. I'm glad that we were able to go out with this council, because it does take a quorum of 4 to do anything. and we've met as regular as we're supposed to and did a good job. We got this property over here, both of these tracts of land, and y'all know the value of property on 157. And guess what this town paid for those 81 acres? Not a penny. Okay. Yeah, three things. We need to upgrade our technology throughout Coleman County to support our school systems. I'm leading the Alabama Broadband Initiative for Coleman, Morgan, and Lawrence counties. I'm dressed down from Montgomery today. I just got off the road. That is a priority. Also, and just to continue on the road that we have to success, supporting our school system. We've saved this school. You can't put a dollar figure on it. It's an infinite amount because we took over the sewer system. You want the Chick-fil-A or something, Sonny? Jack's, contrary to what you may have heard, would not have came here without a sewer system. Charles Mizurani is the CEO of Jack's. Their office is in Homewood. Call him and ask him yourself and tell him I said that in this public forum, because he's the one that told me that Jack's would never come anywhere because they had a bad deal in Summerville, Alabama, and they wouldn't come anywhere there wasn't a sewer. Okay, and then the third thing again is we're going to push forward slowly. It'll be a process, just like it was with the sewer system. First, for the town hall complex, commit this to a 100-year lease to the Commission on Aging to protect it for our seniors, and then begin to develop the right project. I will present you a plan for that project, and we'll talk more about that later. Thank you. The bottom line is this. Whether you agree or disagree with what went on in Coleman or with Hansville, and Corey's about to get him some of this too, it's the will of the people that you have to respect. Okay, if the process, and that goes back to understanding government, if the people submit that petition and those petitions go through the process and are validated, then you don't have a choice but to put it on the ballot. If you really do understand government and they're complying with the law, you don't have a choice. And in the will of the people, does it open up some opportunities? Sure. Would it be beneficial to the town of West Point? I can't see it. You know, I really can't. I believe in letting the people vote and decide. I will tell the city of Coleman this, though I think that they were very responsible in the way that they drafted their ordinance to keep it from looking so much with the beer joints and the strip joints and the signs, and I appreciate them taking it that serious. And it does open up some avenues. Your personal choice of whether you for or against alcohol, that's between you and the relationship that each one of us have with the good Lord, because we can stand up here, we can be critical, we can speculate, we can argue, but at the end of our lives, it's how we've lived our lives that we answer to the Lord. We can't fool anybody else. Okay? So I just say let the people vote. Hope we have the right people in office to manage it responsibly, to allow those that do to drink in a responsible way, and if we prosper because of the revenues, then put it right back in where it goes. Thank you.
The alcohol issue is really a tough issue in Coleman County because of, like he said, the difference of opinion with people. I've really been pleased with the way they have controlled it. I don't think it's going to be an issue in the county, at least over the next several years. I don't think it'll come to a vote, and if it does, if it comes to a vote, and it should be voted wet, countywide, I don't really see how that's even going to affect West Point. But if it does, then we would want to have people in there that would make sure, like he said, that's what scares me about the alcohol thing, is all these queen of clubs or whatever up and down the highway, and four-wheel drives this high, leaving the highway at 2 a.m. and driving like something crazy. So, but if it comes, what we will all have to do is work together to make sure it's done in a professional, orderly, Christian manner. That's all I have.
The alcohol sales, like they said, is kind of a little soft area. The people vote on it. They can bring the petition to vote on it. Me personally, I vote no against it. I have a very strong emotion towards alcohol, and I'm not a fan of it. I've seen what it can do to families. It's not my decision on if it's here or not, and it's not my decision if someone consumes it or not. I can't control that. But if I am brought in, I can bring ordinances to solve minimal issue to the public with it. Like I said, you can't stop alcohol. There's nothing you can do about it. Thank you.
Good question. The Chamber of Commerce can help us by putting us out. Oh, you asked me.
I'm asking on their behalf.
You can put West Point on the map through your booklets in the city and in the county through the chamber. I don't know how active West Point works with the Chamber of Commerce at this time. You work with it well. Well, you do that, well then, when people come, if people are interested in moving into Coleman County and they say, well, we're up here looking, well, you take Smith Lake, for example. Down on Lewis Smith Lake, I had people that would retire and move down on the lake because they drove through here and someone told them about Smith Lake. We like for the Chamber of Commerce to tell them about West Point. And if you're looking for acreage, there's probably acreage you can find that you're not in the real estate business, but still there are opportunities for the chamber to give us more exposure, and for them to give us more exposure. Personally, I think we need to be more involved with them. Like I say, maybe we're more involved than I realize. I have not been active in the city. And I apologize for that. And that's the reason I'm willing to, whether I go in as mayor or not, if I don't go in as mayor, they may get tired of seeing me at their town council meetings. Because I think that we need to contribute to the city, all of us. Nobody can read your mind. Let people know what you think in a loving way, and then support the entire community and go from there. Thank you.
I think the Chamber of Commerce, like Mr. Drain said, is a great thing. When I moved here, it wasn't because the Chamber of Commerce suggested it. I moved here to experience it. And if we can get in with the Chamber of Commerce, we can expand the town. If we expand the town, we move people into the town, our census goes up, brings more money to the town, and more people because people are leaving cities, moving to suburbs and the country. And if we're not a member of the commerce, they're not going to know how great West Point is. When I talk to people in Florida, I express to them how great this place is. I can't tell them enough that they've never experienced nothing like it, and it's the truth. The people here are so different. You can wave at somebody driving down the road here, and people in cities and other places, they've never experienced that. Just something that simple. The commerce has many benefits. It can bring towns together. It can have opinions. You get together and find out what's going on in other communities, what we think we might need to do. And the town as a whole is a great thing, and the Chamber of Commerce can put it out there for the world to know that. Thank you.
Chamber of Commerce is a wonderful organization, and we've got a great interim president back there. She looks a lot better than Kirk Mancher did. Kirk was the past president of the Chamber, and Kirk was a rising star in the Chamber of Commerce. He's now the president of the Chamber of Commerce in Shelby County. But should West Point be involved in the Chamber of Commerce? Yeah, we should. Are we? Sammy and some more of us, I've been on the board of directors for 3 years for the Chamber of Commerce, okay? I've been right now and still serve with Jay and with Leah on the government's Chamber Affairs, or the Government Affairs Committee for the Coleman Area Chamber of Commerce. I talked with Congressman Robert Adderhole a few years ago, and he didn't realize he had a Civil War battlefield right here in his community. Okay, and I got with the chamber at that time and said we'd like to have the chamber has several committees. I can give you an at-depth briefing on the chamber if you'd like it. Okay, I really can. The chamber has several committees. One of them is tourism, and I had asked them, Kirk, before he left, to come out and bring that chamber tourism committee to take a tour of the Crooked Creek Civil War Museum down here. Okay, and that's one part that the chamber does, and I think Jay knows and Leah does. They have this committee, then they take tours around the area, elected officials, chamber members, and if you're not a chamber member as an individual or a business, Leah's at $108 a year for just a regular. I ain't gonna hold you to anything, but is that close? Okay, so yeah, I know a little bit about the chamber. And what I'd like to see the chamber do is to get the tourism committee more actively involved to go out here into this community, into even deeper, to where they can go back, because we do have ads in all their magazines. Okay, so we are an active participant. Most of the community knows that. So that comes back again from your community involvement and just knowing what's going on. I support the chamber 120% and will continue to do so. They're good for this community. They're good for every community in Coleman County. Thank you.
Retail businesses. I think small businesses is great. I've been an entrepreneur since I was 21 years old. And that's the American dream, to own your own business. Mr. Strickland, the owner of the Brandon Iron, he owns his own business. He chuckles about it, but he still loves it. Small businesses is what is just, it's what we need in this town. I don't think industry's good. Small business is great, because it's more one-on-one. You can know the owner, that they'll know their customers. And as far as residents go, we need to expand the town. The town goes this way, that way, and nobody knows if they're in the town or if they're not in the town. And it needs to be more defined, expanded, and with the chamber's help, bringing in more tourists and bringing people in. And when our new ball field is completed on the 80 acres, that'll just be another great park that'll help Coleman County, which already has great parks. They're #1 in the nation, I believe. And there's no reason that people won't want to move here. If we're the best and we have the best, and with the people that's in this community, people will want to live here. And I'm proof of that. Thank you.
Well, like I told you earlier, we say you got to have a land and you got to have the plan. And I agree with Mike and Sonny that we don't want to make this, we don't want an industrial park or anything out here. I have people come to me every day. Like I said, I am involved in the chamber. In my role with the North Central Alabama Regional Council of Governments, I'm also primarily responsible for economic development for Coleman, Morgan, and Lawrence counties. So y'all know a little bit about it. We've got businesses right now that if I could get the right tract of property open right here on Highway 157, we could have break ground in a couple of weeks. But you do have to have the right community, the right school. I finished school here. My daughter's sitting right there. She's an 11th grader over here. I could send her anywhere else. We come from Europe to come home and stay. And so, we want to bring some things out here on the 157 quarter. I was raising a chicken farm right down here. Okay, I don't want to change anything here, but capitalize here. Brian Strickland can tell you, too, that I am involved in economic development throughout 3 counties. Don't want to get into his business, but he's got some people excited on the eastern side of Coleman County, and he should, because he's got a really good business here. And we're working with him to help promote that. And I'm happy about that. And we get the right amount of land. We can put what this community wants out there. We'll just make it better. I've been approached about a grocery store. I have somebody that would be willing to come. Okay? I've been approached about a doctor's office. Several things. You don't just start speculation. You talk to these people, just like with Jack Cornett. Jack Cornett and I just met and drank coffee for 3 years, and he decided to do that. That's how you build relationships, and it's how you build this community. Thank you.
One thing that bothers me a little bit about our sweet little community and the county itself is so many of our young people, like my children, graduate from college and go off to work somewhere else because opportunities weren't here. Whether it's in West Point, in the city limits of West Point and surrounding areas, in the next 4 years, I will personally work to get industry into Coleman County. And I can talk. I've been kind of a lost for words tonight because I felt like I was kind of a lost ball in high weeds with this stuff, But when I get focused and get on track and see where we are and what needs to be done, I will work with the Chamber of Commerce, not just in the city of Coleman, but throughout Coleman County, to continue to build Coleman County and make it attractive. It's already attractive for people to come in. That's not a deal. And again, I'd like to see us expand the city limits. But even if industry comes over in Jones Chapel and they employ 1,400 people, I'll vote for that. But what I'm saying is, we'll all have to continue to work with the chamber, with the other incorporated areas, not in competition with, but work with I'm real big on working with, not against anyone. And during this 4-year period, I will do the best I can to work with the entire county, including start in our city and work our way out. City of Coleman, Good Hope, Hanceville, Baileyton, whatever, and then we'll go from there with it. If I'm elected your mayor, you come to me with ideas and I'll share them with the chamber or whatever. Thank you.
There's a lot of you in here that remember the first time you had a television set, okay? And I remember for a lot of years it was 6 and 13, and then 42 came in, and the remote control for Daddy was me, okay? and you know where we're at right now, okay? I go back to the broadband, and I'm working with Lawrence County right now. We're putting a water project together that's going to bring about 150 jobs into Lawrence County. Through my role with NARCOG to attract people there. And the questions, and you talk about, and it's for the chamber, it's for the community, it's for everybody. If you are a business of any kind and you come into a community, and I'm going to relate this to young people too, you used to ask 3 questions. What about the cost and the availability of your water, your power, and your sewer? But now, in the 21st century, and where we're at, it's a 4-tiered question that they ask: water, power, sewer, and broadband access. Okay, you've got in Lawrence County 35,000 people. 20,000 people are unserved or underserved with broadband. Our education system now is broadband based. Okay, the reality of it is, if we don't address that first in the rural areas, then we're not going to attract anybody, and especially young people. I've got a meeting on September 18th. I met today with former Alabama Agriculture Commissioner Ron Sparks, and we're having a meeting of all Coleman and Lawrence County mayors and county commissioners on the 18th of September in Coleman to address this. It is a priority. We've built a coalition throughout the state. We're already about to break ground in Lawrence County. We're mapping the lake area and West Point now. So that is the technology challenge, the infrastructure challenge for government and business for the 21st century. Thank you.
The way we'd bring young people into the community is through, like we were talking about earlier, the warm-heartedness, the being a friendly town. Like on the old Andy Griffith show, they were a friendly town. We are. West Point is friendly. They reach out. We take care of each other. And that's really important as far as encouraging other people to come in. I know several people from up north that have moved into Coleman County. Now, and I had some of them while I was in the insurance business moved into the West Point area. But they moved down here, some of them even traveling through, and they stopped and they maybe even came over here. And when people checked out after they had dinner, they told them, "Thank you, God bless you," or "Have a good day," and say, "Yeah, no problem," that sort of thing. And we don't need that no problem. We need to be polite and courteous and show people that we have a lot to offer for our children. We have Lewis Smith Lake. Our ballpark, we need to really work on in the future. And that's not something you do overnight. Let's work toward improving what we have and then build on that, make it bigger and better, and where people want to have their children here, know that they can play ball, know that they can go to the lake. We have a golf course. We have Terry Pines up here. It's not in city limits of Coleman. It's still a golf course, and it's 5 minutes away. We have our tennis courts over here. I'm really thankful that we have those things to offer our young people. But the main thing is a safe place for them to grow up. And a safe place for young adults to raise their children. We moved here to raise our children here. I wanted to raise my children in the country because I grew up by the Birmingham airport. And it's a whole lot more fun for children here than it was to slip in the airport and climb in airplanes. I can promise you that, and a lot safer too.
Bringing young people to Coleman. Well, it brought me, but not everybody's like me. If we make our ball fields better and we can utilize the assets that we have and make them desirable, that's just important. people will want to come. If it's growed up, there's issues in it, nobody's going to want to come here. We got to make West Point and what we have a beautiful place, and people will want to come. If we got it to offer them, it's going to come. Broadband. I mean, internet's fine, but I got high-speed internet. It's not that big a deal. The schools have high-speed internet. I'm not in Lawrence County. I'm talking about West Point, Alabama. And that is there's just so much that is to offer in West Point. We have a great school. It's 5A. We need more kids in our 5A school for sporting events. So we can there's just so much. We have the tennis courts. There's basketball, a YMCA. We don't have to grow massive and become a big, huge town like Birmingham or Huntsville, but we can have small things that are desirable. And if we can bring in people, it's going to bring in young people. My church is reproducing like there's no tomorrow. And the more people we get here, we will have young people here. We just need things to keep the young people active while they're here. Thank you. Closing statements. Well, thank y'all for allowing me to talk to you tonight. I'm dedicated to the town of West Point. I've done a lot to help this community and the people in it, and I plan on focusing on West Point. Apparently, NARCOG is part of it, but I'm not here to be a big-time senator or a district representative, or I don't want to go any further in politics. I just want what's best for this town. That's why I moved here. And I believe that if the more time we can spend in this town and focus on this town's projects and these town's issues, it's going to make the town better. That's really just all of it in a nutshell. We need to spend time in the community. We need to spend time with our council and focus on our issues, and that's get us where we got to get. Thank you.
I'm asking you for 4 more years to continue what we've started. And like I said, I do have the education experience and the understanding. And Mike made a point there, and we talked about understanding what NARCOG, the community of West Point belongs to NARCOG. And we've heard a lot of talk about reaching out to other communities. That's what NARCOG does. And this senior center down here is funded through NARCOG, and then it's supported by people like Wayne and Gil, Ben and Pat, everybody that's ever delivered a meal. Okay, so that is the community. That is what it's about. As far as Michael's comment about the broadband, if your school is broadband internet based and then you live at Crane Hill and you don't have internet access at home, your child is getting behind. The numbers, the socioeconomic status proves that. So that is a priority. But it is about community. It is about doing what's best for this entire community. We have a record with this council here, prudent fiscal responsibility, made improvements for this community. We also have a vision for the future. As you go out through the next week, and I'm going to continue coming to your houses and talking to you, I'm going to offer you things about what we do and where we go. If you've got an issue with something, have a solution. That's what I try to do. I love representing this hometown of West Point. Like I said, I was born and raised here, come back here to live the rest of my life here. Love the community. Thank the Lord to be living here. Wish everybody well. We're open all the time. I work day and night at this town hall. Some of the seniors can tell you they see me come in all hours of the day and night. We'll continue to work that hard, and we'll continue to have positive results that makes everybody proud. And I'm proud to be here and proud of part of this community. Thank every one of you.
Again, I'm not a politician. I was a businessman for 31 years, and I do know the difference in right and wrong and profit and loss. And I'll do everything, and I'll support either one of these guys. If whichever one's elected mayor, they're probably going to get tired of seeing me because I'm going to be in their face. I'm going to help them, and I expect if the city decides that they want me to be their leader for the next 4 years, I expect them to be in my face. I want the present mayor's help because he can bring me up to date on where we are. If you don't want me Just don't vote for me. If you do, tell your neighbors. And if you don't, tell them. If you don't want me, don't tell your neighbors. But over the next 4 years, God willing, if I am elected your mayor, I will help bring, and I'm not saying we're a divided community, but I'm saying we need to be a one family community. I want us to be family, like a church family. We're a community family here. I don't have blood kin here. Both my children, because they couldn't find jobs here, one's in San Antonio and one's in Louisville, Kentucky. But I do have family here, and I can promise you this, that anytime you need my help, you call me, and I'll help you any way I can. And I'll promise you this, if I need your help, I'll call you, and I'll expect you to be there. So if it comes to that, we'll know next Wednesday, and after that, then we'll just move on from there. Thank you.